It's always good to have you in audience. Do not forget to be part of whatever we are doing, to listen to us through our online media platforms. You can always log on to www.odenibofm.net and click listen live. You can also download Nick Radio or online radio pros from Google Play Store or App Store and search for Otenibo 99.1 FM. You can also download Radio Garden from App Store or Google Play Store and search for Bossy. If you have them already, just go on and search for Otenibo 99.1 FM Bossy on the case of online radio boss on Nick Radio app. On the case of Radio Garden, you can also search for Obosi because it's map like. You're welcome wherever you are listening to us. From my name is Tony Olisa Mbeki. You're gonna get one of us know. It's always good to have you. Now, this we'll be looking at anti-open grazing bill because we have the draft, the one that the Anambra State House of Assembly is working on, the critical issue and some other things as expected and captured or not captured, and the way we are looking at it, even when it's already late compared to the fact that Southern states were given September 1st deadline to have their anti-open grazing law working. But the state, for whatever reason, is taking it slowly. And even when other southeastern states have had their own in operation aside Imo State. Joining me to look at this very epochal topic, I have in the studio with me, Peter Asozo. It's my pleasure to welcome you, Shinedo Peter Asozo.
Yeah, Tony, good morning and good morning to all our viewers and listeners across the globe. Welcome back on this program.
You're welcome. Let's quickly look at the issue of anti-open grazing law. You know, we have emphasized many times the need for such law to curtail certain excesses of the herdsmen and marauding killers. But this time around, would you say it's coming late, or is it better late than never? And the draft bill has been captured in the Anambra State House Assembly. What do you have to say generally on this before we go into the critical issues as contained in the proposed legislative bill?
Okay, thank you, Tony, and our listeners across the globe. I come with you this morning with a heart full of gratitude and in total service to humanity, beginning with our people. We started this enlightenment campaign on this phase with ban on open grazing. And when we started it, a lot of people doubted our commitment. A lot of people doubted our resolve. We screamed, we shouted, we yelled, and we talked about the need to ban this open grazing. And I must tell you, what is happening across the southern, not just the southeast, but the entire southern Nigeria, I would say it's as a result of irresponsible and insensitive governance. For them to have taken this while, all these years, before they could give a listening ear to what we have been advocating for on this platform and in various mediums. If you rightly remember, when we started it, we were telling the state governors that a drafted bill was sent to them by Alibo Development Foundation, ADF, led by Professor Zadim Mawala. They should look into this and do the needful. They couldn't do anything. For whatsoever reason, for political reasons, for personal reasons, for business or economic reasons, I can't fix it. Why it has to take all this while until we got to the point where we are now witnessing carnage. Then we now see them coming up to make a statement, even giving a deadline to themselves. Was it August 31st or 1st of September?
1st September.
Good. Even the deadline they gave to themselves, they themselves did not meet up with that deadline. You can imagine. But thank God, it is better than never. It is better that they are doing it now than never. I must tell our viewers and listeners that that mission which we set out, we are seeing the light of the day. We are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel on this very particular issue on ban on open grazing. I appreciate every one of you that gave us confidence and support, that moral support. We appreciate every one of you. And we'll continue. This is not the end. But we'll continue to advocate until we have a society where humans can flourish like proper humans and not being decimated, degraded, abused, suppressed, oppressed, just name it. We'll continue until we have our homeland as the paradise we all aspire it to be. So thank you so much for those of you who have been supporting us, those of you who have been even critical, those who are suspicious of everything we do. So we intend to continue on this and many other advocacy we are bringing on this platform. We only advise speedy response to what we are saying, because it took diligence, it took sacrifice for us to come up with critical issues we raise on this platform, both on the side of the government and on the side of the people. The sooner we embrace the truth coming out from this platform, good governance ministry, the better for every one of us, so that we wouldn't start doing what we are supposed to do on the first and start doing them when it is almost too late. So that is just what I want to bring back to you, because that's gaba call eze anaba sikokwala eze ohaneze na ege m ntị oya bụ okwu m wetara ụnụ n'ụtụtụ a. Mana ka anyị na-aga n'iru dịka Anambra steeti, Enugu steeti asign ugo, ọ dị nke ọnwa steeti ọzọ sign ugo, Abia steeti asign ugokwu, Anambra steeti na-akpụdebe ọkava kava sign, and I believe before the end of this week they will sign it into law and get the governor's assent on it. I am looking forward to that to happen this week. So ndị steeti ndị nke ọzọ fọrọ afọ ndebe anyị, unu were eze unu gụzie ilu unu ọnụ, nke abụọzi nke iji ilu unu gụọ eze unu ọnụ, ka unu wee malụzie ebe mmiri si ebe na opi ụgbọgụrụ na be anyị, wee malụzie ive jụọ ndị gọvanọ Imo steeti na Ebonyi steeti ive jiva sign this law. They have already made their stand. Their stand is the position of the federal government. I believe you catch the drift. You understand where I'm going. But as we continue on this course of the program today, we are going to dissect every one of them. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. I have made a proposed bill, and I believe they have put it together so many things. But remember, he said that the bill will be cited as this way because the name of the bill, a law to prohibit and abolish open and nomadic cattle and other livestock grazing and rearing in Anambra State, to establish cattle and other livestock ranches in the state and to provide for related matters, 2001. From what we have here, we are told that the law may be, or the bill, by the time it's passed into law, may be cited as cattle and other livestock open grazing prohibition and ranches establishment law 2021. But then many people will look at the governance of this very act or bill as proposed, because it's still a bill. You look at the issue of the committee that will be formed by the governor. From what I have here, and I have a situation whereby they are told that there will be establishment and membership of the livestock management committee. But before then, we are told the objectives of the proposed law which includes prevent the destruction of cross farms, community ponds, settlement, and property by open rearing and grazing of livestock, prevent clashes between livestock herders and crop farmers, protect the environment from degradation and pollution caused by open rearing and other grazing of livestock, and also optimize the use of land resources in the face of overstretched land and increasing population, prevent, control, and manage the spread of diseases, as well as ease the implementation of policies that enhance the production of high quality and healthy livestock for local and international markets, and to create a conducive environment for large-scale crop production. These are some of the things we are told that they are the objectives of this very proposed law. And then I have a number of questions to ask.
Okay.
Because one thing has to do with establishment of ranches, which is also cited here. We're told that a ranch will be measured 50 hectares, which will be leased by a family to a herder, where the herder would pay an annual rent. And then the rancher should also pay what they call leasehold whenever any land has been approved for use as ranch. The rancher shall pay the owner of the land, the head of the family that owns the land, for the lease of the land. How many people will have problem with this issue of ranches? Because most people have also prayed for ranches. You own a ranch and then you operate it at livestock. Let's get a thought about owning a ranch and possibly operating within that confinement. Because if you look at ownership of ranch by indigenous, any indigene of Anambra State who wants to stand on his own land shall do so in compliance to this provision of this law. So meaning that even if you are a landowner but you want to open up a ranch, there is a provision for land to be set up, because you can't just set up a ranch. Because apart from that, those that are going to pay annual rents, I'm looking at it from the angle, what if they want to own a land where they don't want to pay rent, but they want to own up the land and
Outright.
Outright. Well, then, what do you envisage if that is done?
Okay.
Let's look at it both ways. Issue of ranching, because these things are well situated in this very proposed law.
Yeah, Tony, thank you very much. Talking about the consideration of lease as against outright ownership of land to ranchers or cattle breeders. You see, Emanam bastardize go our norms and value. Na Igbo, ndị Igbo ihe eji mara Igbo gboo, Igbo adịghị elekwa naanị ele. Anyị adịghị elekwa naanị ele. You understand? That's why every male child was able to have Obi. Every male child na Igbo were landlord. Because again, they get a new Obi, and a new Obi for you to start up your own family. The way I see Aga in the name of Elani, in the nearest future, our children may not have that right again. Obozin Koyabo, Amwonwa, on where right of land ownership to continue procreation, to start his own family. Because the way I see Elani, now coming to Anambra State, they did a good job by considering that and saying no to outright sale of land.
I think they propose it here because they say that prohibition of sale of leasehold, saying that sale of any land to the rancher or his agent for the purpose of ranching, residence and other related purposes is prohibited. According to this, you cannot sell outrightly.
You cannot sell outrightly.
It's under lease.
It's under lease.
And then they look at it where you pay annual rent, and then the owner can revoke it at any time.
Exactly. That is how they put it. I applaud that gesture. But that is not where and what we actually demanded. For instance, if you remember when we were reading out our social contract, we asked the government, we keep saying it from the day one, set up agricultural estates. It is not difficult. Sam Mbakweba did it in their own time. Emaya Palava did it in their own time to set up agricultural estates. Oh my God, because we are talking about all-round agricultural revolution, of which in the ADF, Mamu na Good Governance Ministry, na-epush ya across Igbo land ka ndị Igbo wee nwee ike ịkọta nwa ibe ba ya eri, ka ndị Igbo nwee ike ịdị njikere maka any eventuality for them to feed themselves, ka e wee na-enwe food security na Igbo. Anyị wee propose ka gọọmenti gba mbọ set ya up or revive agricultural estates. Then within that estate, enwezie provision ebe ya enwe ranching for onye chọrọ ime ranching. And the ranching na na-ekwu okwu ya ndị be anyị jiri unu njikere maka na ife mụnwa dịkalechara mkpa, ife kasị wee dị m mkpa na ife niile a na-ekwu okwu ya na ekwu okwu na nchi na-abụ ka ndị be anyị bido zube efi Igbo, ka gọọmenti nyelụ ndị be anyị aka, ndị nwelụ mmasị ịzụ efi Igbo. Because onye ọ bụ ebe nna agbado ọkpa na ya ebe. This is where I am looking forward to, for our young people to take advantage of this opportunity and for the government to assist our young people. Let us go into massive agriculture. Massive agriculture. Maka ada ama ife mela anyị na mgbe mmekwa anyị ọzọ kwashoka wee dalụ ndị be anyị wee gbue. Wee sị ndị be anyị ifetela anyị aka mgba, anyị cha niile ga-agbakọ zuzugbe for na anyị Igbo the food sufficient is part of what we have been agitating for. Is part of what we are preaching about good governance. Because all government nwere foresight ga-ama that na ndị beva ga-ejigodu avọ emekwana ọgwụ kasị ọgwụ mmadụ ga-aṅụ n'ụwa bụ nni ọnụ, irilo nni one day evu nke bụ ọya. So we advocate and tell our people to embrace this opportunity, but the government must be on the lead. That is why they call them leaders. You cannot be a leader ekwulu n'azụ na agbalas. You ga-abụ a leader, ndị na leader nọrọ ahead of you. No. So we want a responsible government that will be responsive and sensitive to the plight of the people. Anambra state government ekwukwuru m ekwu kwuo ekwusie nye ike mbọsị ahụ eme the presentation n'Ọka, the public hearing, wee kwuo si na ọ dị mma na a consider ranching in an organized pattern through agricultural estate, where ranches can now be made available in the 3 senatorial zones, so that anyị abanye n'ife ndị ọzọ dị iche iche na-eche anyị aka mgba n'ife gbasara ife oriri. That is the only way we can survive the storm that is gathering without food sufficiency of our Igbo. Nke bụ mpịtị ka ya ekwe. So I use this opportunity ka ọ ghara ịdịkwa ka nke akpụgidere ọkpa na anị wee ruo nke na mmiri abagwa awa ọnụ before anyị ekwubuzi okwu ịba anụ open grazing. Ka ọ ghara ịdịkwa etu afọ. The earlier the better. The government and as well the people embrace this truth, the better for every one of us. So ihe anyị na-ekwu na-agwa the government, na-agwakwa the state assembly and the speaker, the honorable speaker, with due respect, Uche, Honorable Uche Okafo, gbaa mbọ fụ na make provision for agricultural estate. On will leave Vice President ndị ọhaneze kwuru Okeke Ogene, Chief Damian. Also, only one important emphasis on make ebe a ndị mmadụ chi ọchị mana nya bụ ife amla analụ nya bụ ife na-agbali ya bụ okwu. O wee si rapụlụ the traditional rulers, because he go the bill very well. O nwere ebe a sị na the traditional rulers ga-enwe right ị na-eme allocate land, these hectares of land in their different communities. Naira Polondeba and every two hey. We will make a mess. There will be no regulation properly. And he said that for the yeah, we may go tata before 1 year, oh, go much go more than 1,000, 2,000 the chieftaincy title. Yeah, okay, chieftaincy title Kakaroko. There will be an abuse of this
if it goes down.
If it goes down. So that is what Okeke suggested, and I stand by it. So can I consider agricultural estates in 3 senatorial zones? Other important issues I can raise, other place, but I saw can I to the hearing of the general public. Ndi na opportunity. Watch the details. I publish go already on our YouTube platform BVI Channel 1. Mana tata before I make a program I'm gonna publish the detail of this bill so that ije bafu igesi anya onwere impute igeme maybe also so ka iwejeri ya ndị a so that they will be able to do the right thing.
Okay, we are talking about the proposed law we have here because we are looking at the anti-grazing law. Just like we told it earlier on, if you have anything to tell us on that, you have to tell us. But then a quick one for those who may not have every detail about it, but they talked about the issue of unauthorized entry into ranches, that every ranch shall have a fence and shall be prescribed by the management committee, and then not everybody is qualified to own a ranch in the state. Not everybody, especially when you are an outsider or when you are not from the state, you must go through scrutiny, and then you must be seen to be qualified to own up a ranch, and then there is no outright sale of land. It can be leased, and situations whereby you have such a ranch, you must fence it. It must be fenced, and then the issue of temporary structures and other things they were also talked about. Liability of owner of trespassing livestock, because if any livestock strays into any other person's land other than a ranch and causes destruction of agricultural crops or contaminates any source of water supply, the owner or manager of such livestock shall be liable to pay such damages or compensation to the owner or community with proprietary interest in the land or source of water as may be determined by a proper violation order by the management committee. I have a problem with this one, honestly speaking. Let's talk about the section 18 of this proposed law. I have a big problem with that because I'm told that whenever a livestock is seen stray, it must be arrested first and then confiscated, the livestock. If it's cattle, it must be arrested, cows, everything put together, and then there is no provision for jail time, because there are people that will tell you they don't have any money to pay fine. So I think there should be a provision for jail time. Okay, I think I have cited it here because if you look at any person or group of persons found moving more than one animal or livestock at a time on a foot within or across urban centers, rural settlement, or any part of the state commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to A, for the first offender, 2 years imprisonment or a fine of 250,000 or both, as the case may be. For the second offender, 3 years imprisonment or a fine of 500,000 or above. I think I have a problem with this fine. Why I have a problem is this: a cattle or probably a cow right now sells at 350,000, and you are giving a fine less than the value
of one cow
of that very cow. And a situation whereby you have many cows moving around, and then when you have many cows moving around, let's say 10, 15 of them, and then they are being arrested. So what the person can do is just to pay 250,000. That's so small. If you ask me, they would have raised the bar. The bar would have been 5 million. The idea behind any law is to deter people not to commit in the first instance.
Exactly.
To know that it has a grave consequence. But when you make the punishment to be petty, people will overlook it and tell you after all, what is it? I'll pay 250,000, because even a cow sells above 250,000 now. So why would the punishment be such less than such amount? They constitute stakeholders committee of forum before they look at this, or what I have here is not what they are looking at.
Exactly, Tony. That is why I brought it on this program, so that we'll be able to critically look at it and I trust your sense of judgment. He who may observe the accurate and on point. The essence of making any law is to deter people. It's not necessarily to punish people, but to deter people from, from falling in the way of the law. For Anambra State to find someone that had broken the anti-open grazing law with 250,000 naira, whereas in Chije go to Famakano, in the question na 250 you go to what if you the way if you go to the market, you understand you can go above 250. The least car you can get by there, except monkey in Kenan, maybe 300,000 or 400,000. You should go to if you will offer. You can go at 500, 600,000. Only if you necessarily with double quick match in Nigeria. So we advise. I believe the state government, the state assembly members are listening. The clerk of the house, observation, they should put it into consideration, because I never want to be equal to the opinion of the people. The opinion of the people will represent the voice of the people here. This critical observation should be looked in. So you are right on point, my brother.
Because if you look at also the law prohibits rearing of animals or livestock by minors. Who are minors? Those who are under
18 years.
18 years. Any person who engages a minor in the rearing of any kind of animal or livestock in any part of Anambra State commits an offense and liable on summary conviction to imprisonment for 1 year or a fine of 200,000. I think their fines are so small, if you ask me, and then that does not in any way show a great danger that will deter people from embarking on this. I mean, minors cannot, and then somebody who owns a ranch cannot have his own firearm, because it's also stated here, any livestock owner or rancher or his agent who possesses or owns firearms or arms shall be prosecuted under the robbery and firearms special provisions. And then, okay, that's just some of the things we have here. But just like I pointed out earlier on, I'm not comfortable with the fines. For the second offender, 3 years imprisonment or 500,000 fine or import in the case whereby somebody has committed this before, and they're still going on with that. And we also have a composition of livestock special task force, those that are going to ensure that these things are implemented. The livestock special task force shall comprise the following: the special advisor to the governor on security as chairman, a representative of the Ministry of Justice, the state chairman of the Anambra State Vigilante Service, a representative of the Commission of Police, a representative of Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, a representative of the State Director of the Department of the State Security Service, a representative of the State Chairman of the Nigerian Legion of Ex-Servicemen, and the representative of Anambra State Traditional Rulers Council, and the representative of Commissioner for Agriculture not below the rank of Deputy Director and Secretary. And then we have a number of things that are also here. Sale of impounded livestock. Any livestock impounded under this law which is not claimed within 7 days of such impoundment shall be sold on auction to the public, and the proceeds of such sale shall be deposited in the consolidated revenue account of the Anambra State government. And the release of impounded livestock, the management committee or any other person so authorized may release the livestock impounded to the owner or manager upon showing good cause after paying the prescribed fine and the expenses as may be determined by the committee. I think when this law comes on board, the committee will not be saddled with all these responsibilities. If a livestock is impounded, I believe the first thing the committee will look into cognizance is prosecution force. They will prosecute the owner of such livestock in court, and where the court works with this law to prescribe fine. The committee wouldn't just impound. If they impound livestock and the owner comes up and then pays fine, the committee releases the livestock to the owner. There is no prosecution. There is no prosecution. First, you impound. Second, you prosecute. Third, court takes charge because it's a law, unless you don't have it as a law. I don't know if they understand these processes, but the most important thing is the fact that there are some issues many people will not be comfortable with. Personally, I'm not comfortable with some provisions of this proposed law. I'm not comfortable with that. But going further, because we have looked at this, not really comprehensively, but we have looked at it in a skeletal form to understand the purpose and the aim of this very bill. I mean, the proposed law. Now, the question now is, can this still work out here? Can it be implemented? That's another thing. Or can this still be a window dressing or a smoke screen that shows that we are into this, but whereas we may not be into it?
All right, Tony, let me have that drafted copy so that I'll point out something very crucial. You have just highlighted it. If you go to where they say powers to arrest and detention, he said the task force is empowered with or without the assistance of the security agencies to arrest and detain any person or group of persons engaged in open grazing in Anambra State.
And another thing I want to add before you go, because the task force in prison, there are few, because they are not expanded. Are we going to have this task force in every local government? Are we going to have this task force in every community? Because I thought what they would have done, I don't know if it's there, is that this task force, every community will form this task force. This task force will be in every community and their jurisdiction will be within the community for you to show, I mean, efficiency in this. Because if you have the task force set up in Oka, it's not going to cover every community. And many things may be going on in these communities. By the time they'll be contacted on phone, by the time they will arrive, definitely. But you know, we tell people that they can also help to in arresting these people. Why don't every community have this task force domiciled in that community?
Okay, Tony, you've just highlighted issues that I'm about to raise. Actually, I've already raised it during the public hearing when it was meant when it was held in Oka on Thursday last week. I was there. I highlighted this issue. First, the composition of members of the task force. I said it, and I'm here to say it again to the hearing of our people, to the wider audience. In case you have not heard it, as I've published it on the YouTube, you will hear it here. So if it doesn't reflect your position, you can also, when the lines are open, you make your submissions. But I believe the state government and the state assembly members, especially the honorable speaker, is listening to this program. That for you to include the commissioner of police, the DSS,
representative of commissioner of police,
every one of them that have any link with the federal government, do not have any business with the state ban on open grazing. It is contradictory. We say foul. There is no business with the federal government on ban on open grazing in Anambra State or any part of Igbo land. It should be purely local content. It should be purely localized. We all know the position of the federal government on ban on open grazing. Then how do you expect the same federal government to be part or their agencies to be part in enforcing the ban on open grazing? Are we not deceiving ourselves? So I think there should be a speedy redress of this very composition of members of, they call it Livestock Special Task Force. No. The police, the DSS, and every of their brother sister agencies have no business with what we are doing in banning of open grazing, because the federal government have not changed their position on this matter. If you look at when they say the task force is empowered to arrest without the assistance of the security operatives. Now, the security agencies mentioned here in the task force are the same police, the civil defense, the DSS. Now, how can the task force not take approval from themselves? It is just contradictory. It is just very contradictory.
I think I understand the point of view, because if you look at it, some people will say, why don't you have this law without these people being in the
picture,
in the space of the law? Because it's important, because what's the essence of the representative? People who have said that they are not going to enforce it.
Exactly.
They have come, and police have come out to say that they are not going to enforce any anti-open grazing law in any state. They have said it. So why involving them? Why allowing a representative of such an institution to be a member of the task force when they have said that they are not interested? It's very, very you point it out.
And again, Tony, Igana section 5. I will quote in the section. Makande the state assemblies. So not also Ibakavana Hota. Not equal to clause and the section. They will be able to point out where it is. Section 5 of the bill, functions of the livestock management committee. If you go down to subsection X, was it the sub under the sub? Now, you say on X, you say in collaboration. Listen, in collaboration. That's this. That's what will be in collaboration with the state, with the Department of State Security Service. That is the DSS, to keep register and database of ranches and ranchers in the state. What an arrant nonsense. To be honest with you, ranching business is a solution to the problem already on ground. It is a business. Even more personally want to get involved in ranching. Efibo. Like I have guy I need to multiply Efibo in a commercial quantity. That in a onobona medike inwe access to Efibo. Our mission. For you now to say that the DSS will now start profiling ranches and ranchers in the state, it demonizes the business of ranching. It makes it look as a security threat continuously.
It's a proposed draft anyway.
Yes, so that is why we are pointing it out now. So the state government onye ka anyị na-ekwu and ihe nji wele ekwu okwu a na ntị ndị na-anụ ibe anyị na-ekwu bụ ọ bụrụ na ọ bụrụ ibe anyị na-ekwu ka unu na-ekwu unu kpọọ unu akọwa. I think the state government
let me quickly put it the way they put they captured it so that they understand what we are saying. The functions of the livestock management committee, that is the functions of the livestock management committee, the area you read is the X part of it.
Yes.
I mean, and then the T part of it.
Yeah.
We also have, just like you have A, B, C, D, E, F. After F, I think I have a G, H, I, J, and then carry on to W. After W, you have X, T. Okay, and then the T part of it you read, functional committee, the committee in collaboration, that's the livestock management committee in collaboration with the Department of the State Security Service, keep a register and database of ranches and ranchers of the state. It's the committee that will be keeping it, but they say that they should in collaboration. So your anger now is that collaboration should not be there. The committee, they want to keep a register of the ranches and the ranchers. They should not work in anybody's collaboration. That's the point you're trying to.
Exactly.
All right, let's really go to the phone lines and get your thoughts on some of the things we have looked at this morning. Remember, this is Good Governance Ministry, sponsored by BVI Channel 1, and we're looking at the draft legislation on anti-open grazing law, or what do you call it? Cattle and other livestock open grazing prohibition, which is established law in Anambra State. 0906 1414478 or 0703 81 555 15. Let's go to this phone line. Someone know if it's equal. Let's go straight to the phone lines. Good morning, you're welcome. It's good to have you. Good morning, you are welcome. You're on. Are you there? Good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning.
You're welcome. Patrick, you're calling from myself. It's good to have you.
I want to thank the Good Governance Ministry for the work they are doing, for giving the entire public the orientation to know what good governance is supposed to be among the people. It's not any other thing. That name alone, Good Governance Ministry has to be done. So I want to thank you people. I want to say that God Almighty gives you the inspiration and the knowledge to go far in teaching the people what good governance should be among the people. That is my take.
Thank you so much for your take. Good morning, you're welcome. It's good to have you. Good morning.
Morning.
It's good to have you. Let's have your name and where you're coming from. Your name? Ucho Kafo.
There is no big deal in the composition of
The tax force. I think are you sounding sarcastic?
I think it's
Okay,
just
sarcastic. Okay, it means sarcastic. That's sarcasm. All right, you're welcome. Good morning. You're welcome. You're welcome.
well done.
You're welcome.
How the federal government posture was the panel. So we will not the guys say that we have to play it into their hands. So I think every community, the task force that is done at this point by the state government, we will enforce it without or if it's not system, we can have established without like they are going to code. Like they are to probably they have they have enforced very very much. We will get back on that prospect of the everybody that brought it. So let's change this thing. Talking about the hope of harmonize in the country. So now it's community, every community, or town, or let's say town, or town, or bush, can organize their own on the town, organize their own on town, organize their own. Every community or town, to start first. This is the first. Thank you very much. I want to encourage the good work ministry. They are doing a good work, sensitizing the farm. So we need to hold our government accountable. We need to have a relative government so I encourage them and I'm support of everything.
All right, thank you so much for your thoughts. Good morning. You are welcome. It's good to have you. Are you there? Good morning.
Good morning, my speaker.
Good morning. You're welcome. It's good to have you. Hope you. Okay.
Good morning to you, bro. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Sorry, we lost that call. Good morning. You are welcome. It's good to have you.
Good morning, Tony and our brother.
You're welcome. Make it brief because your line is making a kind of noise, a disturbing noise. Anyway.
Okay, I'm the Emmanuel.
I'm going to give you.
Brother. Kedu ihe anyị na-ekwuge taa isi ọ na ndị a na-ege ntị because na ihe na-atọ uru na-aba na agbamalite ewu na-ata and anyị ma ndị ọbụla bụ obodo onye Igbo ma ebe a na-aga ọkwụwata so ihe anyị na-ekwu na pọnt atụ na ka anyị mere dịkọsanụ gọọmenti na ụtụ anụmata na federal gọọmenti ihe ha kwuru maka ndị na-ata ndị okpukpe na emedosi onye ọbụla ma ebe pọọ na-aga na anyị ma ebe anyị na-aga so biko a na-agụ ndị ọ na-anụkwa ihe a ha ga-emenwukwu ya ya ka ntị na njọ were kenekwa gị maka akịtị a ịga imere ka ekpụrụ aja kpụpụla ya n'ụzọ n'azụ adịghị eji ya thank you
Thank you so much. You're welcome. Good morning. You're welcome. It's good to have you. You're welcome. It's good to have you. Can I find Kiribisi? Okay, Umoji.
Dalo, can you?
All right, thank you so much. For those of you who joined us late, we are looking at the tax force, the composition of the tax force. And I hope that we're infering at the draft bill, their composition, that's not a representative. When you know how Gabu chairman, we're going to hire, but only Gabu chairman of that task force from different from what called special advisor to the government on security. But they put a representative of police and then the civil defense and DSS, the higher representative government at the tax force. But some people are saying there is no need for that because their institutions have said that they are not interested in that. So why would you put them in there in the first instance? And whereby the management, just like you pointed out earlier on, the functions of the tax force, according to the functions in KX, the functions would go from A, B, C, D, we run, I'm not Corona Z, but then the S part of it, keeping the register in collaborative tax force shall, in collaboration with the State Security Service, keep a register of ranches and ranchers. He doesn't like on Kafra, that is according to him. Why would they work in such collaboration? Why can't the task force take such responsibility solely by themselves? Good morning, you're welcome. Yep. Okay, about you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome, Honorable Speaker. Hearing.
I don't know from other states, like not this was happening here in your home. Maybe I would like you to find out.
Okay.
I agree with you that opportunity look around one state because the position are one side in people. When you reform them, that's right. Like that's at this point. You need to do that never will. But the police and money. Is there involved? So let us find out other things available to talk about. And as it starts now, I think the best way to that local content is your message. To have it on various communities. At least most of the instances they have it. Very good, millions of them as well. That would have put it here. And I like that they are asking. Even if that's a Dr. Harold, it's okay. Because the black on Harold, cannot be the black responsibility. You always make up. But you see that they are not people. The security network. So I think let's push for it. For the answer of prayer. God bless you all your thoughts.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ezekiel. Open the final thoughts. Let's see if we can just take one more, two more calls, and then come back to Chinede so that we can wrap up. Good morning, you're welcome. Good morning, you're welcome. You're on.
Hello, people. I remember how many people they do. Who know when you get out of the
You're welcome. All right, thank you so much. All right, thank you so much. Because of time, we are looking at time so that we can really wrap up. Actually, have the the time and
Yeah.
the space to call number for the governors ministry and
Yeah.
also your last statement. So we can't really wrap up.
Yeah, my take-home message to our people is to take advantage. Do not be afraid. We proposed ranking, and we intend an agricultural revolution. Take advantage of this. Honor and bear together. Let us revive Efi. Efi. And yeah, Bidogo, maybe you already only a pocket number of people we are working with, Manenugu Agede and other places. We expect our young people to rally around, and also the state government to encourage us. Can you banye into massive agriculture, especially reviving Efibo? Ebe aka ayabo ranching na ha na-ekwu onwe isi. Enwego countries ndị nke anyị nwego connection with. Ya bụ anyị breed our cows with what they have. Anụ ga-abụ nyafu nyafu. Anụ ga-abụ ofu kobo. And ife anyị na-echekwube igbochi anyị amagbochie ya. Mana anyị gbachi nkịtị, anyị chere na-echebe iru na banye na selling na-agbade China. Many ụfọdụ n'ime anyị dị na-ekpobata ebe dị substandard. Ọ bụla ebe a ka anyị ga-eri, ka anyị gbaa mbọ kọpụta ebe anyị ga-eri, ka anyị gbaa mbọ zọpụta anụ anyị ga-ata na ndị be anyị ebe anyị na-ata na anụ adịrọ mma. Ọkwa anyị nwabụ ndị highest patronizers of beef. So ka efi Igbo be anyị gara ịgbanarị anyị. So ọ bụrụ na ị like ebe anyị na-eme na Good Governance Ministry, sonyela anyị gbaa akara ekwentị a 0810 420 7522 0810 420 7522 maọbụ ịkpọ 080 6098 2212 080 6098 2212 maọbụ ijoin ọmụ n'ibe anyị na-eme na social media na BVI Channel 1. Ị gaa na YouTube anyị, ị subscribe ebe anyị ga na-afọ ife anyị ga igwe okwu anyị ga na-ewepụta everyday. Then ichi isonyere m nwa personally, ị nwere ike follow m na Facebook just with the name Asus Chinedu Peters.
All right, thank you so much. And then we want to remind you before we go that there is an emergency Southeast Governors meeting that will be taking place tomorrow in Enugu, tomorrow being the 5th day in October 2021, and the meeting is to discuss the worsening state of insecurity in the zone, particularly in Anambra State, which has become a crisis point as a result of the pending gubernatorial elections. In fact, all Southeast governors have been requested to attend in person and not in representative capacity. You know, just like we have earlier said that the leaders should meet and see how best to resolve the whole impasse. If you means meeting President Mohamed Buhari and conveying the demands of the agitators and those who are aggrieved to him, and then doing the needful, if possible, meeting the detained leader of IPOB in the custody of security, services. If doing that, at least it would be a new dawn. The meeting is tomorrow. The meeting will be tomorrow in Enugu. The entire Southeast governors, they are expected to be there in person. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. My name is Tony Olisambegi. Thank you so much, Lady Peter.
Thank you. Thank you
so much. Let's quickly bring you the news.